display what you want for Christmas, then just put the feet on the tree.
I love that.
Isn't that fun?
That is too fun.
Well, this is Jan and Ashley, and we're coming to you at New at 2 this Tuesday, and we have some really fun things to show you. Do you see a theme here at all?
I'm seeing some ruffling and some ruffling and some ruffling and some gathering.
It's true. Did you know that chickens and sewing have something in common?
Do they?
They do.
Okay.
Because you can gather the eggs and they ruffle their feathers.
Oh, okay, okay.
I know, that was lame. But let me show you. We have a few different machines we want to show you. Certainly you can do gathering and ruffling on pretty much any sewing machine. But we are today going to show you on the Sashiko how to do some ruffling. On the Soprano, we're going to do gathering and ruffling. And we're going to show you on the Victory Serger how to do gathering also. And it can be confusing because sometimes what it calls ruffling and gathering look a lot the same, and they're kind of an interchangeable word, but we're going to go over that more in just a minute.
Perfect. Oh my gosh, Jen, this thread is so fun.
Isn't it yummy?
Look at all of their colors.
No, they're gorgeous. Which one is your favorite?
Ooh, probably that purple one.
This one?
To the left.
This one? Oh, left.
Other left. That one.
That left. Yeah, they're gorgeous.
I really like that. What is that? Let's see. Fruity, 12 weight, 3 ply, blah, 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 blah. Can you read that for me? Because I can't read apparently.
It is a 12-weight, 3-ply, double-gassed Egyptian cotton.
What's double gassed?
Well, you know, I didn't know the answer to that, so I looked it up.
Oh, okay.
I went to the Wonderful site, which this is Wonderful thread.
Okay.
It's a wonderful thread, but it's called Wonderfill because it's a filament. And double gassed is a really interesting way that they treat the thread, so it is virtually lint free, because lint gets built up into your machine, and you got to clean that out, and it can affect the consistency of your sewing.
Yeah, because I've seen when people bring their machines in for service and it's just full of little dust bunnies.
Oh, I know. I sometimes wonder if people have ever looked under there to see what's in there. I think one time one came in and I really thought there was a squirrel in there. But it wasn't. It was just dust bunnies.
It was just dust bunnies from linty thread.
Yeah, but it is important to clean under there. But also using thread that does not have a lot of lint on it is another way to benefit from that.
Yeah, and this looks really smooth and shiny.
It is. So double gassed means that they put it, and I kind of freaked out when I read this, they put it through an oven.
Oh my goodness.
And the gas fire burns off the 80% of the lint.
Oh.
And then they take it and they
do it again,
and it
that
burns
makes
off 80% of whatever was left.
So that makes it double gassed.
Double gassed thread.
Okay, so they just send it through an oven. Cool.
Yeah. I wonder if they ever burn their thread.
Oh gosh, I don't know. I bet it took lots of practice to find the right temperature and distance from the heat.
Yep. So I think this one kind of looks like my mom makes a marshmallow cranberry salad at the holidays. So you got the marshmallow and the cranberry and the strawberry jello that's in it. Doesn't that look like those colors?
Yeah, I mean, you did say the thread looked yummy.
It does. And look at all that.
That is too fun.
That's just doing a decorative serpentine stitch on this fabric. You could do as many rows of that as you wanted to. This is done with the Sashiko.
Nice.
And you can use that. I will tell you, this is a 12-weight thread.
Okay.
So here's the question, Ashley. Smaller number, heavier or lighter thread?
Smaller number is heavier thread.
Right.
Because it's backwards, because they like to trick you.
Right, because the needles, it's smaller number is smaller needle. Yeah. Why they couldn't come up with the same number is still beyond me. But what it means is for you to use a heavier weight thread, you are going to have to adjust the tension on the bobbin case in a Sashiko, so it will release that thread. If it's too tight, it's just going to break the thread. And then you're going to be angry because we didn't tell you that. So now you know.
Now you know.
So we are going to do something else with this because I wanted you to see how that does on the beautiful decorative stitching. And of course, it is a locked stitch on the back.
Okay.
So if that's the look you wanted, I mean, you could do that one on a sewing machine too, but that's the look I was going for.
Nice.
But did you know you can do pleats on here?
I did not know that.
So let me show you how you do pleats on here. We do have thread already set up in it. And I'm going to just kind of do it down the middle of it because it's easier. I didn't cut a very wide strip. And I'm going to put my presser foot down. Now we have this set with presser foot pressure over here as high as it can go. So when I have it with the needle in the down position, do you see how that jumps up?
Oh yeah.
Now if I were to change that pressure, see that's down.
Oh, okay.
I need it to be up so that I can get underneath that with my fabric because I'm going to pleat my fabric as I go.
Got it. That
Okay.
makes sense.
So I'm just going to pinch it and pleat it. Oops, let go of it. And I'm going to stitch, and it does, I have it on short stitch and I have it on
Short space.
short space, that's right.
Okay.
And I'm just going to keep pleating my fabric, and I'm going slow on purpose so that you can catch all this.
I just love this machine. This is so fun.
It is so much fun. And so if I wanted something to look pleated, I can do that here with this decorative stitch. See if I can get it all the way across it. I'm not pleating it very evenly, I apologize.
That's okay.
I'm
If
trying.
we were doing an actual project,
I would
we might
probably
pleat a
have
little better.
measured this, yes, but right now it's just like whatever I feel like pinching up here.
Okay. Well, that is kind of interesting too, that you can just change however you want your pleats to look, depending on how much fabric
Well, and
you
you
grab.
have to remember when you're doing something that's going to have any kind of a ruffle or pleats on it, you have to have more fabric
Than you need.
Right, because if you have a 20-inch thing that you're trying to put a ruffle on, and then you cut 20 inches of fabric and you pleat it, well, now it is no longer 20 inches long.
Yes.
And then I'm going to go ahead and stop that, put my needle back in the up position.
Okay.
And as you remember on this, which way do we pull it?
Straight to the back.
Straight back, and then we come around. And so you can see right there, look at that lovely,
Oh my goodness.
and it's the lock stitch on the back.
That is too cute.
But you know, we just took something, like you can see I didn't go very even, but you
That's
get the
okay.
concept. I mean, is that not the neatest thing ever?
that is too cute.
And all that with the sashiko. It's
Yeah.
a one stitch wonder. It's what you do with that one stitch. So we know now how we can do pleating on a sashiko.
Too fun.
Okay, let's go see what else we can make gathers and ruffles and pleats with. Okay, so this is the Baby Lock Soprano, wonderful sewing machine, and we're going to do gathers on this. So
Okay.
let me show you right over here.
Yeah.
This is the gathering foot,
Ooh.
and gathering and ruffling and pleating, it's kind of a mixed bag of things, and they're not all the same thing, even though sometimes they kind of give the same appearance when
Yeah.
you're done with it. So the gathering foot, as you can see, screws right onto the shank. Can you see that over here? So
Yeah.
we took the ankle off and the snap-on foot off, and we screwed this one on.
Okay.
And you see the groove that's in it right there?
Yeah.
So that is a place to put fabric, and under it is a place to put the fabric. So let's look
Okay.
over here at our gather, and this is where I gathered the bottom fabric
Okay.
and attached it to the flat fabric so that you can have it right sides together, and it comes out and you have gathered fabric on your flat piece.
Too cute.
The trick here is for it to be a 2-to-1 ratio, and the easiest way to do it, and it even says so in the instruction page, is to do it in 10-inch increments. If you have a little bit of extra fabric, so be it, but it's better than trying to go, well, I need 17 inches, so then the other piece is going to be 34 inches. Don't make it hard on yourself.
Yes.
do it the easy way. Go in 10-inch increments.
Got it.
So when we set this up, we're going to set it up to be
A basting stitch.
a basting stitch. Whew,
Okay.
You turned around and you were right behind me. And so where is my basting stitch on here? So we're going to look in utility stitches, and then I can tell that's my basting stitch because it's a nice long stitch.
Okay.
So we're going to touch that button, and we're going to touch 0, 8. There's my
Perfect.
basting stitch.
Easy enough.
And then the next thing it says for us to do is do the stitch length on the longest setting, and for that basting stitch, that is going to be, actually, can I make it longer?
Ooh.
I could make it that. Although I tried it on 20 and it worked great, so let's stick with what worked.
Sounds good.
And then my tension needs to be at 6.0 to 9.0. Here's the tension.
Okay.
And I'm just going to keep tapping that until I get it. We'll try it at the 6.0. The higher the number you have on the tension, the tighter that gathering is going to be.
Okay.
But you need it to be somewhere between that 6 and 9. Otherwise, it's not gathering it enough to make it look like gathered fabric.
That makes sense.
And then I've got my 2 pieces of fabric. I have this piece, and I have this piece.
That's really long.
So this one's twice as long as that, and this one
Okay.
was just cut with the fabric. So that's another way that you could look at doing that.
Got it.
So whenever we're doing this, you have to think about, well, which part of it is being gathered?
Mm-hmm.
The part that is where the feed dogs are touching it are being gathered.
Got it.
Okay? So when we do that, we need this piece to gather, so it's going to come scrunching up like that.
Mm-hmm.
So we need it right side up.
Okay.
Okay, I'm going to kind of scooch that under there. And then this piece is what it's attaching to.
Got it.
But if I do this one right side up, when it connected, it would be wrong. It'd be wrong side up. So we have to do this one right side down,
Okay.
so that when it gathers and attaches, it's going to flip
Got
up.
it.
Otherwise, like if you're making a dress with a ruffle on it, then part of it's wrong side out and part of it's right side up.
And we don't really want it to be reversible.
I mean, unless you like that look, but I don't think I'd like that look. So I'm going to start up here, and I have found it easier to give myself just a little bit of leeway up at the edge here, so that I can, I'm kind of guiding it off my 5/8 inch mark that's right back here.
Okay.
Okay, I'm going to put my presser foot down, and I'm going to drop my needle so that it doesn't try to get away from me.
Got it.
And then remember, we're doing this
Right sides together.
right sides together.
Perfect.
And I'm going to pick the end that doesn't have the selvage on it.
And feed it into the little grooves that
It's
we
not
can
hard,
barely
I
see.
promise. Okay, I'm making it look hard, but I'm putting it right inside. Oh my gosh. Ashley, if you weren't trying to film me, I could do this super simple.
Jan, do you have your glasses on?
I do have my glasses on. So I have that in there.
Okay.
And I'm going to just turn my hand wheel so that I have grabbed hold of it.
Okay.
Okay? Now I can concentrate on this, because as you can see, this piece
It's really long.
is longer than this piece. But this piece will end up being the length of that piece.
Got
it's
it.
a 2-for-1 kind of grab. So I am holding onto it, and I'm keeping my fingers kind of in between,
Okay.
so that it can feed through there neatly, and I'm just watching my 5/8.
Okay.
And when I start pushing on my foot controller, I wouldn't say do this fast, because you have a lot of things that you're trying to keep gathered, in control of each other.
Well, we can see it gathering already.
Yeah, you see it gathering underneath there? And I have to keep adjusting this top piece a little bit, because can you see how it kind of pushes it?
Yeah.
And then I pull it back towards me. See there, it pulled
Interesting.
towards me, so I'm going to pull it back. So I'm trying to keep these things going even. I'm putting a little more pressure on that top piece now, so that it can just gather underneath there.
Okay.
Can you see the side of it where it's crunching up underneath there?
Yeah.
Is that not nifty?
That is so crazy.
Now, when you get close to the end, you do have to kind of adjust a little bit, because it wants to slide away from you.
Yeah, I can see that.
And as I said, this is not something that I would like to do fast, because I'm not that dexterous, I guess, but I think it's going to have a better result. You get the idea. I'm not going to go ahead and finish down the whole thing. I'm going to cut that off,
Okay.
raise that up, slide it out, and then you see how it gathered it?
Wow.
See the gathers on the
Oh,
back?
goodness. Yeah.
Okay, and then when I flip it open,
Oh, my goodness.
isn't it beautiful?
That was almost too easy.
Isn't it almost too easy? I mean, I was in the good old days of running 2 rows of basting stitches and like dragging it along,
Oh,
and then I have to go
goodness.
back and pin it onto the flat piece and attach it. I don't have time for that.
Yeah, no.
This is genius. Look at that.
That's awesome.
I mean, talk about how to make something like a fun Christmas tablecloth.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's ideal. I love this foot. This is the Baby Lock gathering foot,
Okay.
and it fits virtually all of the sewing machines from Baby Lock. the thing, if you have
A high shank.
a high shank machine like a Destiny or a Solaris or an Altair, things along that line, you're going to have to use that adapter so that this will come down to the bed of the machine.
Got
Doesn't
it.
come down to the bed of the machine, you're just making a mess. Okay, so that's that foot. So I also want to show you the ruffling foot.
Okay.
Gathers are kind of random, and ruffles are really miniature pleats.
Okay.
Okay, and so there is this wonderful tool called a ruffling foot.
Oh, wow.
Dun, da, da, da. It's a contraption.
Oh, yeah, it is.
And one thing that's really kind of fun is I was looking through some of my grandmother's old magazines, sewing magazines she had. One was called The Delineator, and it was from like the 1920s, and it had patterns for the dresses and tools and whatnot, and it had the new ruffling foot that had come out. I kid you not, it looked just like this, with the exception that this one's a snap-on, and that one's screwed onto the shank, but it was just like, it looks the same. I mean, it worked 100 years ago. There was not a reason to change it.
Yep.
So it was pretty cool. So anyway, this is your ruffling foot. This part right here is going to go over the needle bar.
Okay.
And when that goes over the needle bar, it helps make this part move in and out.
Okay.
Can you see the little teeth on that right there?
Yeah.
That's what's helped pushing the fabric in there.
Okay.
And this screw right here is so that you can adjust how deep you want it to push the fabric in there.
Okay.
So that if you want it to be like a deep pleat or a shallow pleat, because that's how much it's going to force it under that piece of fabric.
Got it.
Okay. And then look here. Let's look at where the opening is for the needle.
Okay.
You can see you have to be in the right position.
Yeah.
It does not tell you in the
In the little instruction sheet?
no, it doesn't tell you, because I've used this on it works on a lot of different machines, but you have to eyeball this one.
Okay.
If you just try to push on your foot controller and start stitching,
You're going to break a needle.
I guarantee you're going to break needles, because it's going to hit this metal and you're going to break it. So when you do it, you're going to move your needle position so that you find that sweet spot so that it goes right in that hole right there.
Okay.
Okay, and that can be different according
Depending
to
on the
what machine you're using.
Got it.
Okay, so we're going to get this one on here.
Okay.
So I have my needle bar.
And you're missing your ankle.
I am missing my ankle.
It's a snap-on foot.
What would I do without you, Ashley?
It's the way you keep me
snap-on
around.
foot. And I just told you it was a snap-on foot. So yes, put your ankle back on your machine.
These little numbers on top, do those mean something?
Yeah. If you look over here on the instruction,
Oh,
show them what that says.
Okay. So it's how many stitches per ruffle. So
How many? Yes.
one ruffle is obtained per each stitch if it's on a 1. Oh my goodness, can you imagine?
It's a lot.
Yeah.
And you couldn't do it too deep because it would end up piling the fabric on top of itself. You'd have to do a
Got
very
it.
shallow pleat on that one.
Okay. If you set it at 6, 1 ruffle for every 6 stitches. 12 is 1 ruffle for every 12 stitches, and the star is a straight stitch.
Okay.
Looky there. So you don't, if you just want to straight stitch a little section, you don't have to
Right,
take the
because-
foot off. That's nice.
That is nice because it makes a difference on.
Okay.
So
And then
this is
depth.
the depth adjusting screw.
Okay.
Okay. And do you see these numbers right
From
here?
3.5 to 4 millimeters,
Right
it
there?
looks like.
That's how much it's going to put it underneath. It's going to shove that fabric under there, and I don't want it to be real deep.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, that seems easy enough.
And another thing to think about is the weight of your fabric. If you have a
Got it.
heavy fabric and you're trying to do a deep pleat, that's a lot of thickness.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Okay. So now let's go back to trying to put it on since I put the ankle on.
Okay.
I'm putting this part over
The needle bar. Okay.
and then I'm going underneath the snap-on foot part, and I'm going to put my presser foot down, and it's on there.
Perfect.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
Now I can tell you just by looking at that needle is not in the right position.
Oh.
Why don't
Yeah.
if I shine a light on here, would that help you?
Oh no, it's got some pretty good lighting in there. I think it's just.
Does that help at all? Because
Oh, yeah.
if I turn this down, I'm going to put my pressure foot down. If I start rolling that,
Uh-huh.
I'm in the hole, but just barely.
Okay.
And I'm on a straight stitch. But if I started trying to change if I'm back to center needle position, oops, this is center needle position. What am I going to hit?
That metal right there.
That metal right there.
Uh-huh.
You see that?
Yeah.
And so I'm going to move it and try to eyeball it as best I can. A little too far to the left. Still a little left. That's going right down there in that hole.
Perfect.
The other thing is that you have the ability. Can you see the screws that are back here, Ashley?
No.
Okay, so there's 2 screws back here. Do you see it on the picture? No, you can't see it from
on
that
the
picture.
side too.
You also have to adjust it so that this part isn't sliding under the needle so far that it would be
Stitching into that piece.
right. So I think sometimes people are like, oh, this is too complicated. It's really,
You only have to set it once though.
yeah, and write down what your settings are for that machine, because
Yeah.
if you don't, you get to start over and figure it all over again. So right now, I'm going to put my fabric that is my flat fabric
Okay.
right side up.
So this is opposite of the gathering foot.
It's opposite because this one's going to stay flat, and
Okay.
the one on top is going to do the ruffles, which
Okay.
I like to call them pleats because I think it's
It's a little more accurate.
a little more accurate, but they've kind of gotten all misnumbered in there. I'm putting the needle in there, you see that?
Uh-huh.
And it made it through the hole.
Perfect.
You see that? Can you see the needle
Yeah.
right up snug against there?
Uh-huh.
And then I'm going to very gently lay this on top, and it needs to go underneath
Our
this
little
area.
fork. Okay.
Okay. And I'm pushing it so it's nice and close to the needle.
Okay.
And yes, I have selvage in there. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
And you see how this little bar right here gave me a groove to put it into?
Oh, okay.
And so just because I want you to see how this functions, I'm going to turn it with my hand slowly so that you can see how this works. And we're going to
Okay.
make it go for those 6 stitches. Why is it not moving? Is my
Did you
presser
put
foot not down?
We gotta put our foot down.
Ashley, what would I do without you? Okay, so now let's try it again. And
There
you
we
see
go.
how it grabbed that and put it under it? 'Cause
okay.
I did 6 bad stitches. and I'm trying to, can you see it okay?
Yeah.
So if we gently and I'm gonna sew slow.
Okay.
There's no reason to be in a hurry about this.
Oh. It just like scoops it in there. Ah.
And I'm gonna hang on to the bottom piece because I don't want it grabbing that one up too.
Okay.
And I'm gonna make my stitch just a little bit longer, I think.
Okay. Oh my goodness.
So this is doing 1 pleat ruffle per 6 stitches. You can see how it would change the look of it if I was gathering it. It also changes how long this pleated piece needs to be, because the more pleats you put in it, the
Yeah.
shorter it's going to get,
Got it.
right? Get this out from behind here so you can, there we go. And I'm gonna see if I can go a little bit faster. I pulled my,
Crazy.
isn't that cool? And all I'm doing is maintaining the tautness on the bottom layer,
Okay.
because that's the one I need to have it stay straight.
I can see how it's not tucking very much of that.
No, I
fabric
didn't
in
want it
there.
to tuck very much, but that's where that screw right there
Would make a difference.
It would make a difference. If I wanted to be a deeper pleat, it
Okay.
shoves more fabric
In
under there.
Got it.
And then let's go ahead and finish that off right there. And this is why you should probably play with scraps to
Oh,
see
yeah.
what look you want. So I'm going to go ahead and cut the thread, raise my presser foot up, and you can see those are even.
Yeah. And it grabbed our fabric.
Grabbed my fabric.
Goodness.
But this one's kind of opposite now because now my pleats are on this side. Now you can see I did a very gentle pleat on this one.
Wow, okay.
Can you see it though?
Yeah.
So you can see had these pleats come in a little deeper, you would have had deeper folds,
Got it.
okay? And that would have made it, but you still see how
But it's very consistent.
it's very consistent.
Okay.
But I would have had deeper pleats if I had adjusted this right here to push
Make
the
it-
fabric a little bit further.
Got
But
it.
isn't that a cool tool also?
That is really
And so
nifty.
it's one of those that definitely you're going to want to practice it.
Oh, yeah.
It's not one that you just throw it on there and throw caution to the wind. You will break your needles if you do that. We know that for a
And we
fact.
make sure we change our needle and we make sure we put our foot down.
So
and
we
then
have that one, and we have this one, and we have, this is one we did before just because we were practicing.
yeah.
But I could make this be as full as this if I just did deeper pleats.
Deeper pleats, or you could do 1 per inch and have really, really, really dense pleats.
You could, and have
That'd
it
be crazy.
really fold under there. But you got to have lots of extra fabric to do
Oh,
that.
yeah.
So you want to find another way to gather?
Yeah.
All right. So the baby lock ruffling foot, right here, this is that foot, and it can do all sorts of different types of ruffles. I kind of look at it like it's a pleater, but as you see right here, this one, we have the different levels that it can go. Where, can you see those numbers? 1, 6, 12, and a star. So if I were to move that to 1, I can't have it go real deep because it's going to push that fabric under there. This is what it looks like when you're doing it 1 pleat, 1 ruffle for every stitch. So if it was real deep, it would just pile up on itself. So I
Yeah.
have it kind of shallow on that one. But all of these pieces of fabric are the same length.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so that's how much it gathered that one up. This one is when I have it set over here on the number 6.
Okay. So
Which-
it's 1 ruffle for every 6 stitches.
Every 6 stitches, and I increased a little bit on the depth.
Okay.
And then this one is 1 for every 12 stitches, and I made the depth of it be as deep as it could go, so you can kind of see
Okay, yeah.
that. And then this one's a little bit more shallow.
Okay.
And then this one is as shallow as it can be, but it's doing it every one. If you do it
Okay.
deep on this, it will not make you a ruffle. It will make you a mess.
Yeah, it sounds like.
But that's how neat this foot is. It can do so many different ways of getting what you want out of it.
Yeah.
Whereas this was the one we attached. It was still, it was a every 6, right? But you can see I didn't put the depth of it as far.
Got
Because
it.
this pulled up more.
Got it.
Yeah. So we're now at the Victory Serger by Baby Lock, and I have it set up to do a 4-thread overlock. So let me just show you what that looks like. Basic, simple 4-thread overlock.
Okay.
Ta-da!
Ah, beautiful.
But if I want that to gather the fabric,
Okay.
that's where my differential feed comes in handy.
Nice.
So if I am going to be wanting it to gather, I need it to pull it through twice as fast as the machine is running.
Okay.
If I'm on neutral, it's just sewing
An even.
If I do below neutral, that's what can stretch a stretchy fabric.
Okay.
Okay, but I want it to be as gathered as it can be. The
Okay.
heavier your fabric is, the less it will gather it.
Got it.
But you can run it through multiple times to increase how much gathering you have.
You can also pull your needle threads and tighten it
You
that
could
way.
do that too, and absolutely, that's another way because it's just then you're kind of like old school and doing it
Yeah.
that way. But right now we just have the standard foot on in a
Mm-hmm.
4-thread overlock, and I have my differential feed set on 2.
Okay.
And then if you notice, do you see how it's gathering right there?
Yeah.
So it doesn't gather it a whole lot. It is not a gather like what we did with the gathering foot.
Okay.
But like you said, you can take those needle threads, which those are going to be your long ones here, and then you can pull it so that you're increasing your gathers
Got it.
on here. That's just a basic with the foot that comes with the machine.
Okay.
But if you want to switch out to a ruffling foot, there's the ruffling foot.
Okay.
Now, you'll see a little bit of similarities in what we were showing you on the ruffling foot. It has that piece underneath,
Okay.
and it has the groove here.
Okay.
Okay, so what's going to happen here is I'm going to put the fabric that needs to gather where?
On the bottom?
On the bottom, because
Yes.
the feed dogs are allowing for that, and I want the one that
Perfect.
goes on the top
To be your
the
flat,
flat
piece.
piece. Okay, so if we're trying to make it so we have a gathered piece attached to a flat piece, these are drop off snap-on feet too.
Okay.
I'm going to put this one under there. You can also lift up your presser foot.
Get you a little bit more height there.
Yeah, because this one springs up a little bit, so you
Yeah,
kind of
it
have to
sneaks up
push
on
it
you.
back down.
So this one's kind of like the gathering foot, in that there's the groove for it to go down.
Except, Ashley, this isn't the right foot for this machine. You know how I know? That's green.
Oh, that's a green package. We
And-
need a pink package.
Yeah, so this is one, if you have one that is a surging and overlocking combo machine. So
Oh.
you fooled me, I tried to put it on there.
Well, that's okay. We have the right one. Da-da-da-da-da. I'm
I'm
making
glad that we screw things up so you guys don't have to.
I'm making everybody sick. It's fine.
All right. So
There we go. Looks the same.
now you can see it's a narrower foot. So
Got it.
You know, sometimes we like to show you our mistakes because we're human too.
Yeah.
But you'd notice because it wouldn't fit on there. But it's the same concept, but it's much narrower
Got
than
it.
the other one. So let's try this one, Ashley. I bet I can get this one on here.
Probably. Oh my gosh. If Ashley grabs the right foot, it actually fits on the machine.
Yes, it's okay. I'll cut you some slack because I actually tried to put it on. You just
Okay.
grabbed the wrong box. So remember, which one is going to be gathered?
The gathered is going to be on the bottom.
Okay, then we need to know which one is, does it go right side up?
Yes.
Right side up, so I'm going to put
Okay.
that underneath here. And this can trim at the same time, which is also
Perfect.
a lovely thing. I'm going to put that presser foot down.
Okay.
And then this one is the flat piece.
Okay.
And I'm going to put it,
In the little groove.
actually I'm going to raise my presser foot back up so I can get it in there. It cannot go over as far because it's feeding through
The foot.
this foot right here.
Okay.
Okay?
Mhm.
But I have that down. I'm going to advance it forward until I get it lodged in my fabric. Never hurts to just go ahead and give it a little bit of extra help.
There we
So
go.
which one's gathering, Ashley?
The bottom.
And I'm just putting a little bit of tension on this fabric.
Okay.
to
Oh,
keep
look at it
really
go.
straight.
It's not as tight as a gather as
It's
on
not
the...
as tight as of a gather. You're correct. But something I have done before, do you see how that looks?
Okay, yeah.
So something I have done before is I have taken the piece that needs to be gathered
Uh-huh.
and I run it through underneath here just on gathering it. So it's like pre-gathered. And then I do it again where it's attaching it. So it's going to scrunch it up twice or 3 times the amount
Got
of
it.
gathering. Because to me, that's not really gathered. I mean, you can see it.
Yeah.
But if I had had it where this was gathered first and then it gathers it again, you get a
Okay.
full gather.
So you could do the gathering first with your regular foot, but if you want to attach it to another
You
piece
have
of
to have
fabric,
the one
you
that allows
have to have the gathering
for 2
foot, or
places
the
for the
ruffling
fabric
foot.
to go.
Okay.
So,
That makes sense.
yeah.
Cool.
So you saw when we were doing the ruffling and attaching it to the flat piece, I only had it ruffle as much as it could ruffle doing the differential feed up to 2.
Okay.
Okay? But then I decided to take a piece of fabric and I ran this ruffle piece through 3 times on the differential feed.
Oh.
And then I attached it. So it really got ruffled 4 times and you can see how much more ruffly it is.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah. So we hope you enjoyed all of the lessons we were giving you today about gathering and ruffling. And we have tools for you available to do that. So if you maybe have the tools and don't know how to use them, we're happy to show you how. Or if
Yeah.
you need those tools, call your local Be Sew In dealer and see where to go because we have 6 stores.
Yeah, we do.
So where are those, Ashley?
Oklahoma City,
Yes.
Muskogee, Tulsa, Fayetteville, Arkansas, Springfield, Missouri, and Humble, Texas.
Humble, Texas. All right. So we have this available plus so much more. If you haven't finished your Christmas shopping, come and see us. We have great stocking stuffers. We have so much fun stuff. We also want to remind you that you should
Like,
comment,
and share.
And if you like, comment, or share before 5 p.m. this Thursday, which would be December 8th.
Math.
Yeah, that's the math for me. December 8th at 5 p.m. We're giving away a prize this week.
Ooh, what are we giving? What are we giving?
A ruffling foot.
Nice.
Isn't it wonderful?
I love that.
So, and if you would rather have the serger ruffler foot, we can do either one for you, but we have it available for one lucky winner from all these different stores. And tell your friends about it because they may not live here and they may never have been here, but they can be a prize winner too.
Mm-hmm.
All right, you guys have a great time. Thanks for joining